Hello, welcome back. Alright, we're in the next part of the Xavier guide. If you watch a lot of my videos, you get used to me talking at length. You might even not mind it as much, because it is worth the information maybe to you. However, we are going to continue from where we last left off. We're going to look at every legendary trait and see if any other legendary unit is capable of getting a higher attack percentage than Xavier. Okay? Beryl. Her magic attack increases by 25%. It's not conditional. She just gets 25% magic attack. So, that's really, really, really strong. Okay? Again, that magic attack bonus is applied in combat, not out of combat. So really, really good. Very strong. She is a genius. Now, Xavier's is conditional. However, if you're playing them right, you are the one choosing where you want to be. And if anyone, and the AI is going to group on you, so you kind of know how that's going to work in PvE. In addition to that, in PvP situations, if you go behind enemy lines and people aren't trying to kill you, I don't know what's going. I don't know what I don't know what game you're playing. All right, Denteleon, 15% for every stat. Rawia, 25% increased damage. Now, increased damage is pretty good. I do note that 25% increased damage is really, really good. Okay? And it's multiplicative of all other damage sources. So, you know, there's reasons where you want an increase in your attack stat and an increase in your damage multipliers. Typically, you want both, right? And if you have too much of one and not enough of another, then it's not as good as moderately in both. So, 25%. Lilywell, 15% bonus attack. Momo, 35% more dot damage. Tiden, 40% increase in attack when he's using alert skills. Okay, well, I guess Tiden got us beat then. Maybe, right? It starts off at 20%, doing 60% AoE, leveling up to 100% at 40. Sorry, I know this is a Xavier video, but I'm kind of like thinking about it. I bet so many people don't have Tiden at like 5-star, right? Even in like China, even in Taiwan, right? And so like he never got a chance to shine in certain areas, I guess. Oh well. %15 bonus attack for No-No-Will. Physical attack, and only physical attack, not both, but it's not that bad if it's just one rather than the other. 15%. Crit chance does increase by 15, but she is an alacrity unit. Guzman, he has 10% attack when he's injured and 30% total when he's dying. So he is a conditional attack percentage increase. He is not worried about injured or dying because he has toughness. So it's just attack increases for him when his HP goes down. Almost better than Xavier's, right? His is conditional as well. It's fine, right? We're just kind of looking through to see where Xavier's 32% fits. Now, you're probably going to land around 24% on average. Miguel's is 15%. Feikel gets a crit damage increase, and he gets attack 15%. Mytha, I don't even know why we looked there, but just for completeness. Leonide, he gets a damage increase of 8% for every tile. And ignore 10% defense for every tile. So it doesn't say it has a fixed limit. So you can effectively ignore 100% of someone's damage if you move 10 tiles, doing an increased amount of 80% damage. I wonder how many people know how to effectively use this unit. After you, let's see. Okay, so I will admit, ignoring all of a target's defense and doing 80% increased damage sounds amazing. Iggy gets 16% attack, and it's doubled to 32% when he has Highland position and he has armor piercing. Hey, look it! We have someone who got 32% as well. And it's Iggy, who's another breaker, and another character that people often don't use. I like Iggy as a character. I think he is a high DPS breaker unit for single target damage, especially when you build him as a crit focused character. He has high mobility, high crit chance, and large damage multiplier moves, and he can do dart in and out of combat and kind of do hit and run techniques. And he has really good movement. He has armor piercing as well. So not only does he have 32% increase, Highland position gives you damage increase as well, and armor piercing. So really good, really good. So that's our second unit or so that had a giant percentage attack. Let's take a look. We have Nurgle, bayonet charge. Bayonet charge increases attack by 10%, and it can go up to 2 stacks. That's 20%. This can double on someone with the Hangman's Mark. So that's 40%. So here we go. Let's give a clap for Nurgle, everybody. Okay. It's just one guy clapping. But hey, he got someone to clap for him, right? 40%. And he is also an alacrity unit. Whenever I see an alacrity unit, my brain thinks, make sure you have Cole on the team and give them crit and crit damage items and gear. Every single one of these units, right? And you almost can't go wrong. Nurgle is a defender with a crit focus, right? He had 40% against someone with the Hangman's Mark. That's ridiculous. Pretty good. Anana. Yeah, I don't think she's doing any attack percentage increases anytime soon. Garcia. 30% crit, 30% crit damage, ignore block, and 40% of the target's defense. Okay. Magnus. He gains 40% of his physical damage as extra physical attack. So this is kind of harder to quantify, right? But let's just say that that is a good amount, and that's also going to be in combat. So that's noteworthy. Nungle, 50% increased crit percentage. Damage increases up to 45% based on distance. And Alexei, his attacks increase by 20%, ignores frosty tiles. Whew, almost done. We can't forget about new units like Simona. Simona, her attack and defense are increased by 15%. I don't know about Etta, and I don't have Etta. And I can tell you Gloria's right off the bat. Gloria at 5-star is a 20% increased attack. In addition, when she does flag waving, she has 12% as its own separate buff. And then when she loses that aura, she gains potential burst, which is 20% increased attack. And then she loses the aura, usually because she throws her flag, and that 12% becomes a 15% until the flag is destroyed. So for Gloria, it's 20%, 15%, 20%. Okay? That 50% being conditional on the flag existing. If it doesn't exist, Gloria drops down to 20% attack. And potential burst, 20%. Potential burst only lasts for 2 turns. Then that will drop down further, down to 20%. She'll also ignore defense. So Gloria doesn't have her moments of strength, and then weakness. Like, if you want to see it that way. Okay, with the exception of Etta, that's every single unit. Let's cycle back to Xavier. Xavier's 32% increase in attack. When we compare it to every legendary character, we can see he's in probably like the top 5. Okay? In terms of getting an attack increase to his overall character. Now, some may argue that a damage increase is better than an attack increase. And we'll get there. That'll be the next video. Because, well, Xavier doesn't just get an attack increase. There's also a second part to this trait. So for those people who are like, well, yeah, his attack percentage is pretty good, but other characters get a damage increase. He gets both. He gets an attack increase, and he gets another attack. And this other attack is scalable. So in a way, it's an extra skill modifier because it's an additional attack that can get scaled. And it gets scaled with the attack percentage that you gain from this passive, in addition to all other attack percentage increases. So yeah, that's a lot more. So when you factor that in, Xavier is in like probably one of the top 5 for a trait increasing your overall damage, right? Then when you think about collectively all the units we looked at, some of them had really specific conditions, right? They're like Guzman needs to be weakened and kind of dying in order to get his full damage output. Which, I mean, he's Guzman, right? That's supposed to be his gimmick, right? Or the way his kind of gameplay goes. For Xavier, his is based on how many enemies are in proximity. But Xavier has the ability to get himself in the middle of trouble, right? So if you're playing him right, you are getting 3 to 4 stacks of his attack buff. And when enemies start dying, you don't need the attack buff as much. So then, like, it doesn't really matter when it goes down to 2 stacks and goes down to 1 stack and then goes down to 0 stacks. Okay. That was the longest of our videos so far. I'm going to end it now. Thanks for watching.